Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is our Tuesday, October 27th, regular meeting of the Mason County Commission. We'll begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please, Jess, listen to
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Roll call, please.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Tim Sheldon. Commissioner District 3, Terry Jeffrey.
Here. Item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Is there any correspondence to come before this organization?
Yes, there is. The Liquor Control Board sent a special occasion license application for Grapeview Equine Rescue. The Veterans Advisory Board submitted their annual report. The Teamster sent notice of contract opening. Dennis Robinson sent a noise complaint regarding the shooting range at the Correction Center. Robert France sent a letter of concern regarding Pickering Passage. And Jeff Sizik sent a letter regarding the speed limit on East North Bay Road.
Thank you. Item number 4.2, staff recognition for environmental health. Presenter, Debbie Riley.
All right, come on up here, Jess. Jess didn't get to read this or even know what I was going to say before I brought him up. It's kind of bittersweet to be up here tonight because Jess is retiring at the end of the week. And Jess Mosley has been a valued member of Mason County Environmental Public Health since September 25th, 2000. He brought a wide range of knowledge and experience with him. He has a bachelor's degree in chemistry, which came in real handy when he worked for a beer brewer in the neighborhood here. He retired from the Army, having spent time in various locations, including a stint in Germany. He's skilled in mentoring people and getting them to do what needs to be done, which was just a perfect combination for working both in our food program and in our solid waste program. His eye for detail was an attribute as part of the well construction delegation we have with the Department of Ecology. Jess is one of those go-to guys. He's always willing to help out and learn new things at work and in his private life. The entire health department learned about golf as he learned the sport. His game's gotten much better over the years. He not only participated in the county's golf league, but he ran it for the past few years. Jess and his wife Leslie represented Washington State at the Senior Games in 2011 in Houston, Texas. And they worked at the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay this past summer. He was also a member of the county's bowling league before the alley burned down. Jess organizes and he participates. In retirement, we'll see the Mosleys traveling around the country in their Airstream, golfing new courses as they find them. Jess will be sorely missed at the health department, not only for his top-notch skills and technical expertise, but for his quirky sense of humor and steadfast loyalty to his programs, the department, the citizens he served, and his public health family. Semper Fi, Jess.
Thank you.
Yes, we also have the commissioner would like to present something.
So as our tradition in Mason County, for 15 years of service, we do have a memento to remember Mason County and your service here. And just thank you so much for your work. I have talked to a few business owners that you've inspected, and they say that you've always been fair, kind, and just did a great job of helping them understand what their needs were.
Well, thank you very much.
Best wishes on your retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have fun.
Okay, thank you.
He's not one for accolades, is he? He's like, hold on, someone wants to say something. Yes. Hold on. Yes, Commissioner Sheldon, please.
I'm sorry, I got background noise here, but I just want to say, Jeff, it's been a pleasure working with you for 11 years. You've given us so much, the citizens of Mason County. And of course, you do all the work. You did the work for so many years within the city limits as well. So we all owe you a debt of gratitude, and you've just done a fantastic job and been a model employee for Mason County. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Now you don't have to be embarrassed anymore. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Bye, Jess. See you.
That's pretty cool. Is there any other correspondence or organizational business to come before this body?
That's it.
Hearing none, we will move on to item number 5, which is our open forum for citizens input. This is your opportunity to speak on any issue that is not on the agenda. If it's on the agenda, we ask that you hold off and speak at that time. There's up to a 5-minute per person maximum, 15-minute total time limit. But considering that I know that we're going to be vying for some extra time, trying to get some time to get to our public hearing, which can't start until a certain time frame, feel free to have a little more conversation if you'd like. With that being said, is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak on an issue not on the agenda? Dang it. Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 6. Get ready for that soft shoe dance you're going to have to do, Commissioner, because to keep us busy. Item number 6 is the adoption of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adopt the agenda as presented, and I never did take dance lessons.
Oh.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion to adopt the agenda tonight.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Item number 7, approval of the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move the Board of County Commissioners approve the minutes of the September 21st and October 19th minutes.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded for the approval of the minutes, September 21st and October 19th briefing meeting minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, the motion carries. Yeah, this is for the commission.
I know,
This part,
that's,
yeah.
you
Sorry.
said any items on the agenda though, and the minutes are on the agenda, so that's why I wasn't sure if I should go in the public part. There's something on the minutes, of the briefing minutes that are not accurate, so I wanted to address that, but.
Okay, well, it's approved at the moment, and we can take it up as a supplemental
Okay.
aspect of it. at a future
Okay,
meeting.
that's fine.
Okay, item number 8 is the approval of the action agenda. All items listed under the action agenda may be enacted by one motion unless a commissioner or citizen requests an item to be removed from the action agenda and considered as a separate item. With that being said, I will go ahead and read all 3 of them. We only have 3 tonight. There isn't much to this. I'll read all 3. You'll be given an opportunity to ask any questions you have after the fact, and or ask to have it taken off for a separate vote. Item number 8.1, approval to voice no objection to a special occasion application number 093632 for Sunrise Equine Rescue for an event to be held on November 7th, 2015 at the Great View Fire Hall, Horton Community Center in Great View, Washington. Item number 8.2, approval to authorize Public Works to sign the service agreements and future renewal amendments, modifications, and renewal letter with Thurston County for communication systems and equipment and vehicle mechanical repair work. This agreement will have an expiration date, but may be amended, modified, or renewed by letter agreement 30 days prior to the termination date. There are no costs unless their services are utilized. Item number 8.3, approval for the Washington State University Extension Office to apply for a $250,000 National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, SK grant to be used for a seaweed hatchery and processing lab. Now that that has been read to the public, is there anybody in the public that has any questions that would help them decide whether or not to take something off for a separate vote? Commissioners, any questions? Hearing none, is there any items anybody would like taken off for a separate vote? Commissioners, any items taken off for a separate vote?
No.
Then I will entertain. Go ahead, Commissioner.
No, I'm fine with all the items. I would make a motion, if it's timely, to approve all 3 items on the action agenda tonight.
It is timely. Do I hear a second?
I second.
It's been moved and seconded for the approval of the action agenda items, item number 1, 2, and 3. Is there any discussion?
I just want to thank our brand-new WCO Extension Director, Justin Smith, for bringing yet another opportunity to increase basically economic development opportunities here in Mason County. The seaweed, this is the second grant application regarding seaweed production for both commercial as well as food purposes. And so this is, I'm just really thankful we got you. And good luck with this.
Thank you. Well done. Anything from you, Commissioner? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, the motion carries. We cannot move on to item number 9. Because it is a public hearing, it must be held after 6:30 and cannot be held into it. And this clock here on front of us is not accurate. The actual time at the moment is 6:10, it's just turned to 6:11. So we have some dancing to do here in order to fill up some time. That's a lot of time to make up, so we may end up covering our calendars and stuff and then taking a recess. We'll find out how it works. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to move on to item number 10, which is other business, department heads or elected officials. Is there a department head who would like to speak? Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll see if I can spend a little bit of that time. Vicki Kirkpatrick, Director, Mason County Public Health and Human Services. And this is my annual trek to the podium to remind you, if you haven't, and all citizens of Mason County that we are in flu season. There is time to get your flu shot, and that this particular vaccine this year is very close and expected to be very close to the type of flu that will be circulating this year, so it should be highly effective. And a reminder that it is available in a variety of places, and insurances will cover the cost of the immunization. And even for people who might become ill with the flu, if it's not an exact match, the vaccine will reduce the symptoms, and it's much easier to recover from it and recover much faster. So with that, it's a reminder that flu's here and will continue through the winter, and there's ample opportunity to get your flu shot, and we would certainly encourage you to do so.
Thank you. Are there any other department heads? Before I need to ask permission on this because you're not considered a department head, but I have no objections. Commissioners, Teresa from the Sheriff's Department has raised her hand, is asking for some time under department heads. Is there any objection to that?
I do not have an objection.
Commissioner
Not
Shaw?
for me, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, you'll be recognized. Would you please come on up? Because normally this is for department head only and elected officials.
John Moore.
Yeah.
And I have testified before as a department head. I'm a chief deputy for the Mason County Sheriff, Teresa Eric. And I'm here to speak on an item that is on the agenda. So I didn't speak to it earlier under the public portion because the minutes are part of the agenda. So I'm speaking to the October 19th minutes, and they're only online when you post them on Friday. Actually, I didn't see them till Saturday, or I would have brought this forward so that you didn't, on the October 19th minutes. So yeah, you've already approved these minutes, but there's no place to speak to them in the public portion. You stated only any items that were not on the agenda. These are on the agenda. So there is, the treasurers had their 16 budget workshop on the briefing minutes, and under the bullet point on the second page, under the 6th bullet point, where it speaks
When you're considering the second road diversion.
on the state starts with road diversion was talked about, and it doesn't speak to or state who spoke to the road diversion. So I don't have any way of referencing who made the statements, but
Do you have a time?
did you find it? Okay. It's October 19th, briefing minutes.
October 19th. What
Uh-huh.
time?
1:30.
Thank you.
One stage over. And then fourth up from the bottom.
Okay, road diversion was talked about, okay.
Okay, road diversion was talked about. In 2015, the sheriff budgeted 1.2 million, but the levy was set at 1.5 million. It is budgeted at 1.2 million for 2016. Need to budget an amount that will be paid back to roads once the actual amount is known.
I can see the problem with it already. There's not budgeted for 2016 at this point. It's only even budgeted for 2016.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't say who made the statements, and I know that the treasurer was speaking to her budget and what was in it, and so it would be appropriate that she would discuss the amount of road diversion taxes she's budgeted for. But the way that this is documented in the minutes, is,
No, I understand.
Is
And-
erroneous.
And it is probably gonna need a correction. I'm gonna take a minute to think about how to correct that.
okay. And I would have spoke to earlier, but you said a couple times, any items on the agenda, so.
Tracy didn't do wrong. There was no right way to handle this.
Okay.
That's a weird situation.
It
It's
is.
in the minutes and, you know, I can
Okay.
understand, you know, it was right and wrong both ways, so there was no problem with that. I'm gonna go ahead and just say, you know, we do have the ability to amend minutes. Quite often, it's usually done in the next meeting, but if anybody agrees with that, I wouldn't mind if we went ahead and somebody, if they're willing to make a motion to amend the minutes to reflect that just to remove that line that is budgeted for 1.2 million for 2016 will probably be sufficient.
Is that the line that you have?
Well,
objection
I'd like to speak to the 2015 budget. We
Right.
submitted the budget for 1.2. The day the budget was adopted, there was a action taken to adopt 300,000 or 1.5 million in road diversion taxes for the traffic policing unit. And that same day, I tried to address that our budget was turned in August and then approved 12/9 for 1.2 million, and the motion to increase the taxes was made to 1.5 million that day, and I tried to address that. Our budget was at 1.2 because the taxes are only, road diversion taxes are only to be paid for the traffic unit, and
But Teresa, on
I
this
tried
one,
to address
we're
that.
only talking about whether or not to amend the minutes. on
Oh,
this.
I know,
So
but-
how are you asking for the minutes? to be
Okay, I'm
amended?
asking where it states in 2015 that the sheriff budgeted 1.2 million, the levy was set at 1.5. On 12/9, when that levy was set at 1.5 million, the budget for the traffic unit should have been amended at the same time, and I tried to address that, and I tried to subsequently address it again after the budget was passed. But to state that, because it doesn't, and then of course the budget for 2016 should be 1.6 million, because that's what we are expending in time and effort, and what we turned it in as is 1.6 million. But the next statement also says need to budget an amount that will be paid back to roads once the actual amount is known is a little unclear, but from what I can tell
But Teresa,
reading it,
This is minutes of a meeting that occurred, and things that were said in the meeting that occurred, not how you would like it to read, or I would.
Oh,
like it
I
to read,
understand.
anything else like that.
Commissioner, but
What are you requesting the words to be changed to?
it should be
Could you
clear
please
that we are expending, in 2014, we expended almost 1.5 million in traffic policing. In 2015, right now, we have already expended 1.2 million. We planned to spend 1.5 million in the traffic unit, and therefore the taxes would not be paid back to roads because we would be expending what the commissioners set for a levy
No.
in December.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Thank you. I think it's pretty confusing. I'm sorry that I'm not there. Maybe this might, you know, I don't want to amend a budget with a change or a correction in the minutes.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
I think this item might be something that we could brief on, we could get the numbers in front of us and take a look at it. I'm just afraid to go down a road that means something much more later than what we realized tonight.
I agree with that, and the whole idea of amending the minutes is to amend the minutes of what was said at the time, not to hash out any of the other
Oh,
stuff
and-
or any other things you might like. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold off right now, and I'm gonna ask you one more time, is there something specific, how the words would be changed to reflect the meeting? I can understand, the only part I can understand is the fact that we have not budgeted yet. So it is erroneous to say that it's budgeted at 1.2 million for 2016, because it hasn't happened. There is no budget yet for 2016.
Okay.
I would accept that amendment.
Well, you would have to make it, the motion.
And-
But that's the only part I can see in there to change the minutes.
I-
If you want to have a briefing, I have no problem with that.
No, Commissioner, I wasn't asking for you to amend the minutes regarding the budget. I was clarifying the amount that we are collecting, that The commissioners adopted the tax levies like they do every December to collect 1.5 million, and that is what we're going to be spending in traffic, and so we won't have an amount to be paid
And
back
so
for
basically,
15, not
you're welcome to
16.
ask for a briefing on that.
Oh, that's
The
fine.
minutes is only to discuss, is only
But-
a reflection of what occurred and what was said at that meeting.
Right, it should be a recording of what was said, and what was said that we had to budget an amount that will be paid back is not a,
Well, that was said in the meeting, so it needs to be reflected.
Yeah, we're not gonna take out what was actually said.
Now, if you disagree that that needs to happen, then we'll have a briefing and discuss
Yeah.
it.
We'll have a discussion.
Yeah.
Let's have a
okay.
So with that being said, Commissioner, would you like to make that motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we amend the October 19th briefing meeting minutes, the last page, I guess 6 bullet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8th bullet, to strike the words, "It is budgeted at 1.2 million for 2016."
You think, okay, bring from the front, okay?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes?
I have a question. The motion has been made, but at what meeting again was this correction supposed to occur?
It was a meeting with the treasurer. You were not
Okay.
present.
And I don't believe I was in attendance.
You were not, no.
I may have been. What date was it?
October 20th at 1:30, and you're listed on the minutes as not being present.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna second it since I wasn't there.
That's okay, I will second. It's been moved and seconded to change the meeting minutes of the week of October, brief meeting minutes, week of October 19th, on the 8th bullet, to reflect a change and remove the words, "It is budgeted at 1.2 million for 2016. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 The motion carries. Is there anything further for department head? Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think we can say that we have a budget amount.
No.
Okay, with that being said, are there any other, well, actually, though, thank you. We had to use up some of our time. We may actually not have to reflect on that. No soft shoe dance today, guys. You got lucked out. Okay, with that being said, is there any other department heads that would like to speak? Come on now, we need you. Now's the time. Your predecessor would have been up there in a heartbeat. He would have. Anybody remember?
Bring it. I don't have any septic tanks to talk about today.
Okay, then we will go ahead and is there any elected officials who would like to speak at this time? I only have one in the room. Yes.
Actually, I'm going to ask my undersheriff to speak on the jail issue for today.
Okay, so that's still department heads.
Yes.
Yeah, you're the
I don't
elected
want to be an
official.
elected official.
Yeah.
Jim Barrett, Mason County Sheriff's Office, Under Sheriff. Department head comments. As you're aware, we did a press release on a warrant sweep that was started today with all agencies within the county. Just to give a heads up, as of 1800 tonight, there were 22 warrants picked up, and that will be continuing. So in about an 8-hour period, that puts our jail population at 90, but they're working through with the courts to mitigate those issues and whoever's held tomorrow after seeing a judge. But this will be going on for another 4 days. It's a point of emphasis, and it'll conclude with an October 31st Halloween and traffic emphasis to make sure that, you know, the safety issues for a lot of our trick-or-treaters are met in the communities and things, and a DUI emphasis for that same time period. But anyway, it's just a follow-up for the commission that day one so far has yielded 22 warrants being served on outstanding things. So there we go.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you. Is there any other department heads, elected officials? Hearing none, we'll move into board reports and calendars. Commissioner Sheldon, would you like to go first?
I think he's on silent mode.
Are you there, Commissioner Sheldon? Commissioner Jeffries,
I'd
would
be
you like
happy
to
to
go
go first. So following last week's commission meeting, I was at the Leading Women Voters meeting where Commissioner Netherland was also in attendance. And then we had a budget workshop, and then the Mason Transit Authority meeting. Commissioner Netherland and I were both at that meeting. The 21st had a criminal justice working group meeting, and then conference call with Trust for Public Land. attended on the 22nd of Mason Matters meeting, and then Lewis Mason Thurston Area Agency on Aging Consortium of Governments meeting. Attended a meeting that was put together by Congressman Derek Kilmer on the issue of the Wild Olympics campaign, which if folks may or may not be aware that Derek Kilmer and Senator Maria Cantwell have a bill in Congress to put aside 126,000 acres around the Olympic National Forest as wild and scenic. This was an interesting meeting in that it was attended by marketing representatives from the Patagonia Company and REI, who are going to use their marketing reach and budget to advertise recreational opportunities around the Olympic Peninsula that will be made available and enhanced through this initiative. And they specifically would like to market recreational opportunity here in Mason County. So this is fairly exciting to get that kind of exposure with the kind of dollars that will be made available there. I know that it's a controversial issue, the Wild Olympics issue, and there are people that don't agree with it, but I would never say no to those kinds of marketing dollars to bring people and visitors into Mason County. Monday we had all-day briefings and budget workshops. This morning I did have a conference call with our tourism marketing agency, and then budget workshops with the prosecutor's office. I had a meeting with some realtors about economic development opportunities here in the county, and then another workshop on the roads. And then tomorrow we'll have a stakeholders meeting on our therapeutic courts initiatives. We're meeting with our deputy prosecuting attorney on a couple issues. And then Thursday we'll have a succession planning meeting for Mason Matters. Their director, who was announced she's stepping down and retiring. I'll be meeting with some local bankers on an initiative. Actually, these are credit unions on an initiative they're trying to get here in Mason, or in the state, allowing credit unions to accept, be the depository for local governments, which is a timely discussion in that our current depositor our bank has asked to be released of our business, and so we are going to be scrambling for a new bank to handle county deposits. We'll have another budget briefing on Thursday, and then I'll represent the county at the Pacific Mountain Workforce Development Consortium of Governments on Friday, and back for more briefings and budget workshops on Monday the 2nd.
Okay, Commissioner Sheldon, are you there?
Yes, sir, Mr. Commissioner.
Okay.
Just go through the calendar very briefly for you. I know you have a public hearing coming right up. Tuesday, our commission meeting, last week we approved our road budget, our road plan, and our road construction program for 1 year and our 6-year road plan. And on Wednesday 21st, I spoke to the Lieutenant Kiwanis at a joint transportation committee meeting in Olympia on Thursday. Learned what a TBM is. That's a tunnel boring machine, commonly known as Bertha. And the project is delayed about the starting of the operation of that tunnel boring machine by 1 month, and it'll start boring again in December. And let's see, Monday we had our morning briefings, and I have a couple meetings. I'm sorry I'm not there tonight with the Senate Energy and Environment and Telecom Committee, and a couple other meetings towards the end of the week as well. And Saturday, hopefully the Huskies will beat up on the Arizona, I think it's the Bulldogs there, but we're all pretty proud of the Washington State University Cougars. They're really on a roll. And let's see, on Monday we're back for briefings on November 2nd, and then our meeting on on Tuesday, November 3rd, is also election day. So anybody with a ballot still at home, please get it in the mail or drop it in the drop box. Thank you.
All right, as was spoken earlier, We met at the League of Women Voters meeting. We had our budget workshops. We had a Mason Transit Authority meeting, Mount Moriah evening meeting, North Mason Chamber of Commerce strategic planning meeting, ribbon cutting ceremony at Allen Interiors, lunch with a realtor in regards to some realtor issues we have, a budget workshop again, more briefings, North Mason Community Voice, met with Tim Whitehead in regards to properties in the North Mason area and whether or not to vacate them or they are vacated. Budget meeting again today, and that brings us back to our regular county meeting. This next week we have an infrastructure meeting, courthouse security meeting, North Mason Chamber of Commerce luncheon, budget, Shelton Cemetery meeting. West Sound Steering Alliance is getting together to start to talk about what we can do in form of transportation for this next session. We will have a meeting of the EDC board members at the library to learn about all the tricks and trades of the stuff they offer there, which I've seen before and extremely impressed, and it's going to be fun to watch their eyes when they realize all the stuff they can do for their businesses by using that stuff. We have our briefings again that come up, our budget. I have a port meeting, Port Allen to attend, and a left board meeting. With that does my calendar.
Would you be willing to expound a little bit about what our deputy prosecuting attorney said about the vacation?
We're going to have an executive session on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there anything further from our board reports or calendars? Where are we on time? We are 6:32. We are there, and we're going to go ahead and jump back to item number 9, which is our public hearing. This is open the public hearing to consider the Shorebrook Community Club franchise agreement. Staff, Melissa McFadden. That's what it says.
I didn't write it.
I'll channel Melissa. How's that go?
I'm gonna sit somewhere else.
Good evening, Commissioners. Loretta Swanson with Mason County Public Works, and here to present a franchise agreement between Mason County and the Shorebrook Community Club. And I am so excited to present this franchise agreement. This has been in the works for quite some time, and I do want to thank the prosecutor's office and most especially the Shorebrook Community Club for their patience and tenacity in working through issues and coming to resolution and presenting the agreement that's before you tonight. Most especially the Shorebrook Community Club. They have dealt with numerous staff representatives over the years, and they have been the constant. And so in some respects, they've been the expert on this. And I was very pleased to work with them and to bring this agreement before you. Long story short, the agreement is for the rights and privileges for Shorebrook to operate a Group A water system within road rights-of-way within the county, and lays it out for a period of 10 years. The agreement is good for standard insurance and all of that good business. The hearing was advertised. Payment was made some time ago for the franchise, processing the franchise by the community, and here we are. And I'm happy to answer if there's any specific questions you may have about the agreement.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions for Loretta?
No, I do have a question. So we have franchise agreements with many, many communities and
That's
water systems, et
correct.
cetera, and they tend to be standardized.
Yes.
Is there anything different about this one from our standard agreement?
There is a little bit different language that the Shorebrook Association and their attorney requested that basically clarifies, in my opinion, terms within. So it's not granting anything unique or special, but makes it very clear in plain speak.
So this
if you
potentially
will.
could be a new template.
Yes, and that's part of what I want to thank the community's patience for, because we did do some cleanup, and I hope that it is a bit clearer for all involved.
Is there, with that being said, any other questions, Commissioner? Is there anybody in the public who has any questions in regards to?
No, I don't. I think it's very straightforward. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody in the public have any questions in regards to the testimony that staff is giving? Hearing none, we will close the staff portion of this hearing and move on to public testimony. Is there anybody in the public who would like to testify at this time? Please.
computer?
Yes, please come forward, announce your name and perhaps where you're from, and
Okay. I'm Bill Pratt, President of the Shorebrook Community Club in Tahuya.
did you say Noel?
Bill Pratt.
Bill, okay,
Right.
thank you.
And the residents of our property out there is 280 Northeast Shorebrook Drive in Tahuya. And I want to thank the county for cooperating and working with us to come to this agreement. We've been working on this since, I believe, 2007. Okay. So there, mutually, there's nothing that we feel is unfair. It's completely in everybody's best interest, the county's as well as the community club. So we approve and have signed off on the agreement.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Commissioner, any questions?
No, I do not. Thank you very much for coming in and testifying.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to testify at this time? Hearing none, we'll close the public testimony aspect, move to commissioner deliberations. Any commissioner deliberations?
Well, I'm really glad, thank you so much for coming down and testifying and sharing with us that you're, that you, and I assume you're speaking for the board or.
I am speaking for the board and well over the majority of the votes of the membership.
Great, thank you so much for coming down and doing that. I'm glad that this got taken care of, especially like Loretta shared, through multiple staff members.
I will entertain a motion if there's no more commissioner deliberation.
Mr. Chair, I move that the board approve and execute the franchise agreement with the Shorebrook Community Club for the Group A water system serving the Shorebrook community within certain county roads.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion. Again, I apologize for the background noise.
No, you're doing fine. I don't hear you. You're doing great. It's been moved and seconded that the board approve and execute the franchise agreement with the Shorebrook Community Club for the Group A water system serving the Shorebrook community within certain county roads. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. The motion carries. The hearing is closed. I will entertain a motion to adjourn because we have no other business.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.